Hey crafty friends, this is Jenny from CraftTestDummies.com, and today we're going to talk about coloring books for adults. So chances are, if you've passed kindergarten, you've colored in a coloring book. Well, now the craze is back, and it's specifically for adults. And books like these offer adult artists a chance to relax and de-stress by coloring beautiful, intricate patterns such as these. Now, for some people, coloring in such small spaces actually creates stress. So you have to decide if this is really right for you. But it's a very versatile medium because you can, of course, use colored pencils, crayons, gel pens, markers. Kind of the sky is the limit depending on you and the weight of the paper. So we're going to take a look at some of the adult coloring books that we have received into Craft Test Dummies so you can see the different kinds, and then we'll talk about a few tips and techniques.
Okay, I just want to take a flip through the stack of books that I have here. Some of these were received as promotionals from the publishing companies, but some of them I bought with my own money, so it's kind of a mixed bag here. So first I have The Artful Mandala by Cher Kaufman, and this one really looks like a hand-doodled book. To me, it looks a lot like Zentangling, but there are different shapes. Some of them are round mandalas, some are kind of unique shapes, but all of them have this kind of hand-doodled quality, just waiting for your personal touch. Now this is a Dream Mandala book, and these are hand-drawn designs by Wendy Pearsall. And again, it's kind of whimsical. I think the lines maybe are a little more refined on this. But there are fairies and words and birds. So again, a lot of these books are just kind of subjective. If you like the images and they spark your interest, I think you should go with it. Now these have some quotes in the Dream Mandalas, which you may find really wonderful and speak to you as well. Now, one of the books that kind of started it all was Joanna Basford and her Enchanted Forest. So I didn't get the whole book because it was a little on the pricey side, but I did get this postcard book, and I can't flip through it because it's postcards, and so it's really stiff. Now the nice thing about the postcard size is that you can watercolor these because they are printed on heavier paper, but they're beautiful and they're intricate, and they're also very, very small. So just for me to have something this small doesn't feel great to color because it's just too small. It's just lots of little nitpicky work. I like the bigger ones myself, but again, this is a personal preference. And this is fun because you can either color it and send it as a gift, or you can send it plain and let your recipient color it in. Now this book was interesting to me, and I picked it up myself because it was written by an art therapist, and you've probably seen my rant by now that coloring is not art therapy. Art therapy is a profession. Go watch that video if you want. But this was put together by an art therapist and illustrated by a friend of hers. And this has different topics. I colored one in. This I actually used watercolor paints, and as you see, the pages are very thin. It does not accept paint well, but I feel like if it's your book, you can do what you want with it. And I like the fact that it has the patterns on this side so that even if it does bleed through, it doesn't really bother you that much. But this one spoke to me because there was a lot of different themes. So there's animals in one, music is in this one, so this is why I chose it, because I love all of these musical themes to play with and color. But anyways, it's worth taking a look at. There's a nice little section in the front about coloring tips. It's called Color Me Happy. But there's some basic tips and techniques and some illustrations if you need some guidance. So then we have these series. I have Paisleys and Mandalas, and there's actually another one of these. There's Mandalas Coloring for Everyone, and then there's the version that's Coloring for Artists. So let me put the mandala aside and show you the Paisleys, because essentially it's the same kind of book. It's a fun anti-stress coloring book. One says it's for artists, one says it's for everyone. What's the difference? Well, let's take a look. I noticed that the one that is for everyone has more open spaces. The areas that you color in are actually bigger. which I kind of like because, like I said, sometimes when I'm doing something like this, I really want to practice my shading or, you know, other techniques, and I like a little more room to work. It also gives you this nice area in the back so that you can use test your coloring medium and your palette and try your color combinations and little fun practice sheets in the back. So here's the one that's for artists. They also give you some suggestions in the front. And here's the flip through of some of the patterns. Now, as you can see, some of them are still very, very large. But I don't know, it's kind of just up to you. It's not the same book. They're not exactly the same mandalas to color. As you can see, this one's very bold, but the paisleys to me are just really fun and pretty. Now, I'm gonna kind of wrap up with this one. It's the Pepin Artist Coloring Book Series, and I had one of these when I was 12. A friend of mine who was an adult gave me one of these books, and as you can see, it's very, very hard to see. It's actually done in grayscale. This is so that your hand takes precedence over the background. There are very little spaces, and I was testing this out with some watercolor. It's heavy paper, it's kind of an ivory color, but what is interesting about these is that it's an all-over pattern, so you can really create almost a picture within the pattern depending on how you color it. And as I mentioned before, most of these can be done with a lot of different media. It's just really up to you. But I hope you enjoyed this tour of different books, and you will leave some feedback as to which ones you like as well.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful and or informative. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up because that really does help out our channel. As always, we would love it if you would subscribe to our channel. That way, every time we put out a fresh video, you will know. Thank you again for watching and have a crafty day.